Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today we're doing an unboxing and assembly of the King Bull Hunter. This is a 26 by 4 inch fat tire mountain style e-bike that we're going to unbox and assemble today, show you what's in the box, how it gets put together, hopefully making your assembly project a little bit easier. Let's get into it. Watch them staples, nicely packed. There's the Hunter in black. A couple of our accessory boxes. I always save the box and throw all my trash inside of it, just in case I accidentally throw away something I need. Right against the wall. That's garbage. And we'll start popping these zip ties. Plastic fender, big tires. Looks like they're, okay. We have some CST BFT tires, 26 by 4. 180 millimeter rotors. Nice. Let's keep getting rid of those zip ties. I like that matte black. Pretty cool looking logo too. You want to make sure you're not cutting any wires. That would really ruin your day. Looks like we got some Mozo shocks. Snap it right off. See now that? Too close for comfort. Looks like we're gonna have mechanical disc brakes. I like the attention to detail so it doesn't scrape against metal on metal. Headlight and horn button, control pad, 7-speed Shimano thumb shifter. Okay, I'm gonna clean up this mess and we'll get everything laid out. Okay, now that we cleaned everything up, let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what's in these boxes here. Inside our small box, have a nice headlight here. That's sharp looking. You have some screws that are in the bottom of the box. Let's go ahead and open up the larger accessories box here and see what we got. King Bull Hunter owner's manual. Looks like it's nice in color. Little bike pump. Give us a bike pump. Charger with cord. Some straps for the back rack, that's nice to have. Bike lock. Our pedals left and right. Nice toolkit. Front fork quick release skewer. And a couple tools. So that's everything that came in the 2 accessory boxes, and this is everything that came in the box. Our first step is going to be to install the handlebars. You want to make sure the fork is going the right direction, so this lockout should be on the right side. Your front brake should be on the back of the left side of the fork. For packing reasons, it comes to you turned in like this, but you want to make sure that you turn it the correct way and hold your fork straight and turn it the correct direction. It should be facing that way. Let's go ahead and take the faceplate off and get our handlebars assembled. We're going to want to unscrew these 4 screws on the faceplate so that we can get our handlebars on there. So just go ahead and back them all out. So now that we have the faceplate off, pick up your handlebars and make sure you untangle them if they are. You want to make sure that your thumb shifter is on the right side and your control pad is on the left with your horn and light. And we'll rest them right up here just like that. Grab our faceplate, put it back on, and just get a couple screws started by hand. Just so they're started. It doesn't take much to hold them up. When you're tightening down the faceplate, you want to make sure that you're crisscrossing. You're going from like top left to bottom right, top right to bottom left. This just ensures that you're not tightening them down unevenly. So you don't want to over tighten anything at this point because you'll probably go in and make some fine adjustments later. You might want to go ahead and readjust the handlebars once you're sitting on the bike and you have a little bit of a different perspective. Simple as that, the handlebars are assembled. Okay, you might find some movement from the front tire to the handlebars. Make sure your handlebars are lined up with the tire. You just want to make sure those screws on the sides are tightened up once your tire is lined up. And again, you'll probably go through and then make all these adjustments later because you might not have had it lined up perfectly, so you might have to go back and readjust it or realign it. But be mindful of that when you're tightening it down. You don't want to over tighten anything. Let me grab some styrofoam to put up here on the handlebars. We're gonna flip this bike upside down and install the front tire. Okay, this plastic piece up top here is just for packing. It's garbage. We're gonna wanna have the brake rotor drop right between these brake pads, and we're gonna wanna rest the tire up here on the axle. So we're gonna be using our quick release skewer here to put the front tire on, and we're going to have it set up just the way you see it here. You want to make sure the small end of the spring is to the inside on both when we go ahead and screw this on the tire. So just keep that in mind. And then you have some nice lock washers that can really only go into the fork one way. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and take all of the hardware off. You want to make sure you don't lose these little springs or your washers. This can only go in one spot. It's going to butt just like that. And this way here, when you open and close the quick release, it glides right in this little curve here. And then you'll put on a spring that'll go on just like that, and a lock washer that's going to go on just like that. That's how that's going to look. Let's go ahead and get our tire up there first. Throw this out, that's just garbage. So we're going to take our tire, drop it in here, and we want our rotor to go between the brake pads and let that rest right on the fork, just like that. See if we can get a clear shot of that. This is going to rest on the fork, and the rotor goes between the brake pads, just like that. We're going to put our skewer through right here. So it's going to go lock washer, spring, just like this. And the spring should fall right into the center of that lock washer when it's lined up. So over on this side, you can see we're going to put our spring on with the small side to the inside. Our lock washer, which is going to slide right in here like this. And then our cap back on there. Just make sure that the lock washer is going into the hole on both sides. And tighten it down. On the other side, I have the lock washer going into the hole, and the same on this side. I'm just going to go ahead and hold the skewer here with this hand and screw it in on this side. Once you feel it's down tight enough, you're going to go ahead and push it tight with your thumb. And a good indicator, it should leave an impression on your finger. Then you know that it's pretty tight. Okay, let's go ahead and turn the bike right side up and continue with the assembly. Installing the front fender and light. The tires are deflated pretty low, so you're going to bring the fender up through the back here. It's going to rest right here. Then we're going to take our light, and our light's going to go right on top of that, just like that, and we're going to screw it into place. You'll use the screws that came in the little bag with the light. We'll take our screw, run it through the light, through our fender. Might be a little awkward getting it started. It'll probably turn to its side. That's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and get it started by hand here first. On the back here, you're going to have your washer and your nut, and your front is going to go light fender to the bike, just like that. We'll need our Allen wrench, and we'll need to hold the nut and just start getting it tightened down. It really doesn't matter, like I said, if the light's falling down, that's fine. You're just going to get it started here. Okay, once we screw it in too deep, the socket's not deep enough, so I'll need to grab something else to hold it. This gets in there pretty good. Hold that nut on this side. And you just want to make sure that you're tightening it down nice and snug. It might even be easier putting this fender and light on before you put the tire on, but that's how I did it, so let's keep going. Okay, now we'll go ahead and attach the fender arm. It looks like they come with a screw and a nut. And it's also threaded, so kind of got both options here. So let's go ahead and screw that in, and we'll put the nut in on the other side as well. I mean, to me, you don't really need the nut and washer on the back side because this was threaded. I'm going to go ahead and put it on there anyways, just not to lose it. But it's kind of redundant. We already have a thread going through there, but they gave it to us, so I'll put it on there anyways. So now we have a threaded screw with the nut and washer on the other side. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Take the nut and washer off, and we'll just go ahead and thread it through. So let's hook up the wire for the headlight. You're just gonna go yellow to yellow, and you can see there's a little notch there and there, and you're just gonna line that up. Or there's also arrows, and you're just gonna push it in there just like that. Perfect. The rear rack already has a couple screws and the tail light on it, but let's go ahead and complete the installation by attaching the other 2 screws. Again, we're gonna have a nut washer and a screw. I'm only gonna use the washer and screw on this one, and screw our back rack in. I'm not quite sure why the nuts are there, but I guess extra hardware is better than less. Go ahead and get it started by hand, and then we'll tighten the rest of it down with our Allen wrench. Make it nice and snug, and we'll do the same thing for the other side. The book says take the 4 screws out of the frame. I don't know if it's referring to these 2 on both sides, but really there's no need to. It came with a screw in the box. So let's go ahead and do the other side. You might need to use a little force to get the hole lined up. Make sure everything's nice and tight. Perfect. Let's complete the installation on the rear fender. They already have it attached here. We just have to put the fender arms on. Let's back them screws out and put them in. Okay, let's go ahead and get our fender arms on. And then you want to just make sure you make them nice and snug. We'll do the same on the other side. Back out our screw and washer and reattach them. The same thing on this side, we'll make it nice and snug. Simple as that. Let's go ahead and attach our seat. All you have to do is take your seat post and slide it down the tube, and go ahead and flip this latch closed. Now, if this is a little bit too loose, in order to tighten that up, you come over to the other side and you're going to open this up and just tighten this screw down a bit. When you tighten it down, that adds pressure, so when you close it, it's nice and tight. And you can tell an impression on my thumb. Let's go ahead and install the pedals. I'm always gonna say it, there's a left and a right pedal. Make sure you put the left pedal on the left side and the right pedal on the right side. You don't want to cross thread them. You could always get it started by hand, and then you know that they're threaded on there nice and they're not cross threaded when you do that as well. Take your wrench and make them nice and snug. Do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. We'll come up to the top here and make sure our display is all unpacked and hooked up. Looks like it is. Let's go ahead and try the power and see what happens here. Probably the M button, and it powers up. Perfect. Okay, that's gonna wrap up the assembly of the King Bull Hunter, and make sure you check over every nut, bolt, and screw on the entire bike just to make sure that you have everything tight. Keep a lookout for our test ride and review video that will be coming up soon as well. And if you know someone that's interested in a King Bull Hunter for themselves, there'll be a link in the description for them to purchase one as well. Like always, ride safe, have fun, see ya!